Blackest recap ever. Season 8, episode 4. Opening scene is a funeral. Very rarely do you really get to see people mourn on Game of Thrones, right? I think we see a lot of deaths, but we don't really see the process of the mourning process, right? So we open up, you see Jorma's dead body, you see Theon's dead body, you see a couple of Dothraki, you see all of that shit, right? And then Jon Snow, aka TD Snow, Pastor Jon Snow, he let a word, right? He was saying that, we should appreciate all these people whose lives were taken, because this wasn't no regular petty ass war. This was the battle for truly humankind. And then Sansa puts a little pin. I got my little pin. She put a little pin down on Theon's body, because really he was a Stark when you really look at it. And I think that she had a stronger bond with him, I guess, because he saved her, right, from Ramsay Bolton. They both were abused by him, so it's kind of like victims combined. So I think she feels like she's out of it. So fast forward, they in the hall. So here's a funny scene. You keep seeing John at the head of this table, and if you remember season 1, episode 1, he had to sit down at I wouldn't say the bastards table, but he had to sit with the common folk, right? Because he was not a true Stark. And now look at him sitting right at the head of the table. So out of, everybody's, joyous and everything. Arya's in the back, still setting up, getting ready to kill people. She's like, I ain't got no time to party. I saved mankind, but I still gotta work. You gotta love that dedication. Gendry passes by, and Daenerys does a power move where she legitimizes him and makes him the heir to the lands that were formerly of anyone who was of Robert's family, Bartharians. I forgot. I don't know. I'm not gonna say these shits correctly. I don't have time for it. So now he is a true lord. Yo, he was so pumped. He ran, found Arya, decided to propose marriage to her. And what did Arya say to the god of marriage? Not today. She shot him down. This episode was a lot of people getting shot down. Like, hearts were broken this episode. This ain't the first scene. So anyway, I think he was really in shock. But you got to remember, again, what was it? First season, episode 2, where Ned Stark says to Arya, oh, you're going to be a lady and you're going to marry this great guy. You're going to be a lady of the house. And she's like, I'm not a lady. I'm not going to get married. So, all of this is full circle. Did you really ever see Arya being a lady of any sort of land? I mean, outside being Lady Arya Stark, like, you just never saw it, right? That's just not her thing. You have to really sort of respect that empowerment component, right? Where she wasn't pressed to be married. So anyway, everybody, it's like all these really great sort of like vignettes that are just posing there. You have Tormund making fun of Jon, which is just just so ironic, right? Because they were supposed to be steadfast enemies, and now Tormund looks and enjoys tormenting Jon with great funny jokes anytime he can. Then you have Tyrion and Jaime and Pod and Brienne. They're all in a cipher playing spin the bottle, a drinking game and shit. That leads to Brienne getting in trouble. See, liquor and a cute dude don't mix, honey. And then you have the Hound. The Hound is, just being the Hound. The Hound, he just needs to have sex because he's just so damn miserable. My man, pay for it, get some. Somebody offered him some. Homie said nah. So anyway, they're playing spin the bottle, and then they're like, you're a virgin. And then Brienne gets all uncomfortable and shit, and that's when Jaime was like, oh, this is my time to pop a cherry. And then she's so uncomfortable with the aspect of her, I wouldn't say her sexuality, but what, her not being a sexually active woman. She just doesn't know what to do, right? She's been mocked so much about how she looks and all of that stuff. So Jaime follows her to the room, blocks Tormund, because Tormund was like, oh, this is my time. He didn't even hear what was going on. He's just been feeling shorty. But, no, not shorty, tally. So he runs over. Jaime was like, and he just blocks it. He gets a little bit more liquid courage, knocks on the door, starts what song you think was playing in his head? I think it was TLC, Red Light District. Take off your clothes and turn on the red lights. Did you like that the terminologies that Brienne was using when she was speaking? She was like, well, I was told when I come to the north, you put a fire on, and then when you step out the room, you put more wood in it. Okay, symbolisms. All right, leave that shit right there. So then John is having a little talk with his frat brothers. Daenerys, her Starbucks cup. What you think was in that cup? First of all, do they even have Starbucks on set when they're shooting Game of Thrones? Or do they just use a bunch of like those cups and it's just regular coffee in it? I can't see somebody ordering a mocha latte skim 2-pump venti and having it on set. But woo, whoever is the editor and the line producer and the person for continuity, woo, child, you in all types of trouble. I'm not instigating. I just used to work on set. So after they play spin the bottle, Jamie and Brienne getting it on and stuff. He had to climb that mountain, baby. That ain't something that you just, yes, that's not something you just push the panties away. He just had to get into that. So then we're in another room, and John is drunk, and Daenerys comes over and says, are you drunk? And then they have a one-on-one where John's like, yo, I don't want this job. You want the job? Cool. I'm cool. And she's like, I beg you not to tell nobody. And shit, we see how that went down in a minute. Next, they're in the war room explaining what their strategy is. Now, let's tell you something. They're not good at the strategy of war. I think a lot of what John has won off of is dumb fucking luck. John is no General Patton. He's no he's no Ulysses S. Grant. He just gets by off of just dumb ass luck, and I think that's probably going to be the downfall of him. I don't know who's going to die on episode 5 and episode 6, but it's one of those two, right? So anyway, they're in the war room. Sansa says, yo, my men have to rest. We just fought death. We literally just fought death. And Daenerys looks at her, and John was like, oh no, we're going to still do it. Because you're pussy whipped, John. You're pussy whipped. And it's scary. It's really scary at this point, right? Because wasn't you supposed to take an oath? Nope. So Arya comes and was like, yo, can I talk to you for a second? Let's go in the other room. Arya and Sansa did some shit that everyone who has a sister and their brother brings a whack chick to the holiday, they pull him in another room and say, allow me to reintroduce myself to you. And that's what they ended up doing. Bring him over to Godspell. They wheel Bran out. Wait, who is this that be wheeling Bran out? What Jamaican home attendant, Miss Marcy, is Bran working with his customized wheelchair? You heard him tell Tyrion, oh, this was customized. Like, okay. So Bran says it's for you to tell. So anyway, John tells Sansa and Arya what his true dynasty is. And what does Sansa do? Sansa ran with that shit. Sansa basically ran with that in present day, and she put that shit on the Shade Room. She put that shit on World Star. She put that shit on the Jasmine brand. That's exactly what Sansa did. She ran and told that information. She told Tyrion. And like Varys says, when it's more than 8 people, it's information. It's not even a secret anymore. I like that. I'm going to start using that. So anyway, Tyrion told Sansa, be nice to Daenerys. And Sansa puts a point to Half Man where she says, you're shook. You're scared of her. And you know what? Honestly, he is, because where can he go, right? He screwed it over with Cersei. He was besting that everybody would fall in line with Daenerys, and that's just not happening. Sansa's not allowing it. And you got to understand Sansa's perspective. She feels a lot of guilt in the loss of Winterfell, right? And I think that she doesn't want to be a colony. She doesn't want to be underneath this kingdom anymore, because she saw what took place in the previous administration. Which, coming to talk about that, that talk that Tyrion and Viserys, vasectomy, whatever fucking vasectomy, got on dick, when they were talking about who they now wanted to be on the Iron Throne, and Tyrion is very old guard. He's very conservative, and Varys was on some socialism shit where he was like, "I want everybody to, I want everybody to live." Varys is Henry Kissinger. If you've ever read 48 Laws of Power, you will see how Kissinger served nobody. He just handled all his shit himself, and he's still alive, and everybody else he served underneath is dead. Woo! All right. Sorry for the history lesson. So, I forgot one other thing to tell you. John, I'm going to report his ass to Peter because he left Ghost. He didn't even pet Ghost. He didn't even say bye, none of that shit. That shit hurt my soul. As someone who always grew up with dogs, that shit hurt. And this got to be Ghost's third home and shit. I'm tired of Ghost getting thrown away to other people and shit. Shit, you think Ghost is housebroken? Because shit, he been with 3 different masters and shit at this point. Anyway, so John goes by land, and Daenerys and her council, they go by land and by air, right? They're floating and shit. They're on a boat. You think everything is good. Guess what happens? Aaron Greyjoy comes out with doing a drive-by. Shot out, what is it, Rhaegal? Is that the dragon? I call him Reggie, right? Shot him dead out the sky. All landed in the water and shit. That's another thing that hurt me. And I'm like, what shit hurting me because it's a dragon? But what I know is that Daenerys utilizes these dragons like weapons of mass destruction. And when you only got 1 bomb left and you had 3 and you meet this dude, a lot of people say I don't like Daenerys. She's losing a lot. She was chilling, doing her thing, and then her plans were bend the knee and let's keep it moving. And then John was like, well, I need help fighting this war that I have right here. So she came through. She helped him not once, but twice. And guess what happened? She lost her dragons. And I don't know if do dragons reproduce. I don't think they reproduce. They're reptiles, right? They don't have like regular. Listen. All I know is that she's down to 1, and that shit hurt. Right? When you had 3 before, and now you down to 1. And had I not made this detour to fight these damn zombies and ghouls and shit, maybe I would have had all my dragons, and it just would have been a different way. So again, do not hate Daenerys and do not hate Sansa because you're dealing with childhood trauma of being used, mistreated by many men around them, and then the men get to walk away scot-free. We are being very chauvinistic when it comes to these women, and we love Cersei because she's cruel, because we like cruelty, but that ain't how it's going down. Well, anyway, they shot him out the sky. That shit hurt me. That shit is like how when they shot Ricky in Boys in the Hood. Rest in peace, John Singleton. Anyway, the news gets back to Winterfell. Sansa with her fate keeping a secret. She purposely pulled Brienne into another area so that Jaime could come and pocket himself into a damn female conversation. Sansa should have said to him, excuse me, it's an A and B. This a A and Brienne conversation we having, so step off. But she dropped that tidbit to get him all excited, to get Brienne refocused again, because Brienne was dick struck, okay? She ain't never had it before. She getting piped out, and all of a sudden she had to roll her in. I think that was a little finger move that Sansa played, where she played both of them, whatever. So anyway, Jaime got his last little piece from Brienne. Brienne ran out in her house coat. I don't know, where do you think she got her house coat from? Bobby's or Conway? She ran out in her house coat. Don't leave! Stay! Baby, won't you just stay for a little while? And Jaime was like, I was a fuck boy when you met me. I was a fuck boy when we did it. And I'm a fuck boy now. Boom! All right? Jaime just laid straight bars. That's what he did. So, next shot is Daenerys rolling up with her toy shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many people do you think she legit got left? Because once they shot the dragon out and they attacked her boats and her ships, shit was all screwed up after that. They all washed ashore. Homegirl, the only black girl on the show, they made her. Cersei captures her, and she then becomes a tool to negotiate with Daenerys. Another thing, her best friend. Like, come on, she lost a dragon. come on, this is getting ridiculous. Where people starting to say, oh, they hate or whatever. So Tyrion and what is it, Queeborn? Is that his name? Yeah, the guy who got kicked out the Citadel, who's now the hand of Cersei, right? So the two hands meet, right? And they both tell each other, well, your queen, if your queen surrenders, she can live, and if your queen surrenders. So Tyrion looks at Queeborn like, let me speak to your manager. He walks right past him and tells Cersei, listen, I know that you don't care about anything else, but you care about your children, right? Aaron Greyjoy was like, excuse me? You know, he looked at him like, shit, you told me we having a baby. How homeboy know? Shit, you was sending him you sent him the pregnancy test? Anyway, Cersei listens to all that, and then the cold-hearted, horrible person that she is, and also the person who she does not know how to diffuse a situation. That's the thing with Cersei. She does not know how to diffuse a situation. She loves to make shit worse. So, how does she make shit worse? She decides to behead, what is her name? Melisandre? Yeah, I think it's Melisandre. You know what I'm talking about. The black girl up there, Grey Worm's wifey. You know, they were talking about they was like, once we finish this job, we're going to get our money together. We're going to move down south and shit. And guess what happened? When black people start making plans, what ends up happening? All that shit goes to waste. That's why black people don't make plans. Because if you say your shit, something going to happen, right? Same shit. Again, another reference to Boys in the Hood, John Singleton. Ricky was going to go to college and shit. And guess what? Ends up getting shot. So they behead her. And I just want to know why Tyrion still got his job. Tyrion is the definition of white privilege. Tyrion keeps his job no matter what, no matter how bad he's at it, he keeps his job. She needs to make Grey Worm her goddamn head of council. But I understand, like, he is her head of armed forces. So, you know, he got a job and shit. But now he gonna be all heartbroken and shit. And, you know, with 2 episodes down, I personally feel as though Game of Thrones, the writers have done a magnificent job. But it's because I enjoy art for the sake of art. I don't watch Game of Thrones for anything socially. I don't watch Game of Thrones for a manifest of my own projections of my own issues. I watched Game of Thrones because my mama told me it was a good show, and I didn't believe her, and I watched it, and now I really, really like it. And that was in 2011, right? So anyway, with everything that's happening, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if Brienne and Jaime going to have one last sex session. Is the Hound going to kill the Mountain? What is Arya's purpose, right? Was it a prophecy that Varys was going to die in King's Landing or Dragonstone, right? They said we will both die in this country or whatever. Where was Jon at? Jon was at a tavern. Was Jon trying to find the right family for Ghost to go live with? You know, Sam ass is making babies. Tormund plans to go back north because, like he said, this is not my land. And you know, Sansa just wants to make sure everything is right for her. And I don't know. I mean, I'm so emotionally vested in this show. I don't know where to go from here. But I know I'm the queen of my castle. See you next time.